Interview with dogman, SONNY Sikes. Part 1.
How old are you?
I'm 47 now, but I saw my first dog fight when I was just 9.
He looked at me across the table and smiled widely. SONNY Sykes lived in Chicago. Right around the corner, by the forge where Joe Corvino kept his dogs. SONNY, like Joe, is from Italy, and was introduced to Joe by his uncle. When I was talking to SONNY, I noticed a t-shirt hanging on his bedroom wall. Waving to her, he said,
"That's the king's chest."
And later he explained to me that he considers Bert Klaus the true king of Pete. This and similar statements made our interview fascinating. I'm happy to dedicate it to the great old days of Chicago dogmen. And in particular, Joe Corvino. This is an exclusive interview with SONNY Sykes. I hope you can enjoy these amazing stories, in which the great images of the past come to life. And his book of life is revealed. Read with pleasure, plunging into the atmosphere of a bygone time. Through the proud eyes of one man, who has been a dogman for 38 years. SONNY, where did you get your first puppies?
I got my first puppy from Joe Corvino when I was 8 or 9 years old. This little dog lived with me for 18 years. She was with me even when I got married. I tested her, just once, with a female Ravenclaw named Jonesy, but she was no good.
What kind of person was Joe?
Joe Corvino, he was Italian, a very good man, and intelligent. He was like that, he talked a lot, but he had a lot on his mind. He was a tough man. I believe that Joe was one of those who was ahead of his time. He was a friend of many, who were in dogfighting. Lots of guys came to the forge where he worked, but no one stayed for long. He gave me a lot of knowledge about dogs, and he also taught me how to shoe horses. I spent a lot of time building on him, and to be honest, I believed he would trust me, so I persisted. The other boys went and did stupid things, and I spent all my time there.
Was Joe almost like a father to you?
Maybe so, but I always saw him as a friend, despite being much older than me. When I met him, he was already 50 years old. As for me, he was more like a big brother to me. You see, Joe had 9 children, 4 boys and 5 girls, but none of his children were interested in dogs, because they had to take care of them, clean the kennel. And I still starve for those things, because I love dogs.
Who were Joe's best friends?
Well, he had a lot of friends. He was good friends with Bert Klaus, Earl Tudor, Walter Komasinski, Pete Sparks, Leo Kennard, George Sadler, Jack Kelly, Maurice Carver, Mike Ferris, Whiz Hubbard and many others. Joe knew the old Irishman well, as did Con Feely, Pat Conroy, the Farmer brothers, and of course John Colby.
Did he tell you how it started? With dogs?
Yes, he told me. He stole his first dog from the innkeeper, and took it home. He broke its front leg because he knew it would be wanted. He was 8 or 9 years old. Pete Sparks once wrote in his magazine that Ravenclaw stole his first dog and showed him off whenever he could. Pete Sparks published a very good magazine called Your Friend and Mine. But he only fought one dog. He wasn't a dog fighter, but he was a breeder, and a publicist. He based his breeding on Colby dogs. Joe told me that Con Feely is a good dogman, and hard to beat. Personally, I believe that the real dog fighters come from Ireland. The Farmer brothers, too, were Irish, and dogmen, very competent. Back then, Chicago was a hotbed of fighting dogs. That's where the good dogmen from Ireland went. They were the first to bring these dogs to Europe. Prior to that, wrestling was an Irish sport. Joe started with breeding dogs from the Feely line. He got dogs from Jack Williams of Colorado. It's not Williams from Oklahoma. It's the one from Colorado. These dogs were from Lady Lou and Turk from Bruce. They were also dogs created by Feely. Joe bought the dogs from a man named Cunningham in southern Illinois. He also had dogs, Menifees and Tutors. Joe knew a lot of people because he traveled a lot. As I said before, he knew Colby, and now I'm going to prove it to you. Showing some letters from his correspondence.
What was the best cross Joe made?
I would say the Feely lineage, with Menifee. It is a cross, based on Trahan's Rascal and Debois breeding. You see, Joe kept his creation a secret. He didn't create, the way people think. He could breed, with closely related males. It's the same with the females, and then he cross-references the result. Joe was obsessed with the game. He didn't like anything but Gameness dogs. That's what he believed in, and he taught me to understand. He liked dogs, who held the opponent by the muzzle, or by the ear. And meanwhile he protected himself from trouble there. Joe didn't like a smothering dog. He always said, a dog that works like this is a dog that runs away from confrontation. The dog goes to the hind legs of the opponent, because there he cannot see the teeth. Joe really liked the craftsmen, masters, and bosses.
Was Joe a dog fighter?
No. He was absolutely dog-related. Every time we went to some kind of meeting or something, we always went early because he was always looking forward to seeing the guys, who would come up to him with their dogs. Joe was interested in what and how the dogs did it, how the blood was crossed and all that.
Joe was more of a breeder than a dog fighter, right?
Then. He was definitely a creator. But he tested the dogs seriously, really seriously.
How did he do it?
Okay. You were not in that forge. As I said, he never put a dog down to hurt him. He was looking for the gameness. That's why he made difficult tests. He pitted 2 and even 3 dogs against 1 dog. To see if his dog could take it. And if the dog didn't pass the test, he got rid of him. But in no case did he sell. And he wouldn't put it in the fight, if that dog didn't have gameness. Sometimes he would put the dog to roll, wearing a muzzle. To see how he would fight in this situation.
Do you think these methods are relevant now? Would you set 2 or 3 dogs against 1 dog to test him for a fight?
No. I do not do this. I already did it once, but I won't do it again. I've had dogs who don't fight a dog, not even a fresh one. But if you get them in shape, they beat the same opponent. Joe has not tested dogs under 2 years of age. He could let an early started dog roll. But he wouldn't give him a roll, heavy, before 2 years old. And he never put dogs in a fight before he was 3 years old. I'll tell you one thing. If you really want to test your dog, don't pit 2 or 3 dogs against him. I advise you to release the dog from the chain, without preparation. You will be pitted against an opponent who is 2 to 4 kilos heavier. Let them fight for 15 to 20 minutes, and you'll see everything you need. I've done it that way, and I'll continue to do it. And I guarantee it will all become clear when they put up a good fight.
I've heard from some people that in the old days, they muzzled the dogs and let them fight like that. What do you think?
It's very possible. But it's a completely different situation, putting a muzzle on a dog, and letting him fight for a while. If you let him do this for more than 5 or 6 minutes, you will ruin your dog. He will just have crazy stress, which will hurt him from the inside. When you take his muzzle off, your dog will be so exhausted, he will barely be able to stand. This is a good exercise, but when it lasts no longer than 30 seconds. Cajun rules require the dog to be prepared. I know how to reduce dog weight. And put it on a ring weight before starting work. If you do it right, your dog will. Listen. It's a trick. Keep your dog neither fat nor skinny. For weeks before the fight, take off half a kilogram. In the last 2 weeks, return half a kilogram, so that at the time of the fight, the dog's phosphorus is slightly lighter. Everyone does it one way, but this is how I do it. I have my own training method, and I trust that my dogs will not have breathing problems when they have to fight. And why the hell am I telling my secrets, you motherfucker? Go ahead, next question.
My name is Rodolpho Luiz, and I invite everyone to enjoy the knowledge of this wonderful breed. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. God bless you all. I went.